All right, with the Thunder Puppy defeated, we can now begin. I'd say, do you remember what we did last time? But you guys are technically just free to float around.
I remember.
Yes,
I mean, what did we
I
do
blew
last
up
time?
everything.
you went on the offensive.
Burn!
said-
Leviathan Corporation.
Please, good sir.
Oh yeah, I left that review.
The review.
You left a review.
You what?
On the dude's book.
Yeah, for that budding author.
Oh,
Gotcha.
that's right. I thought you were gonna give like the. For some reason, I thought you had left like a Yelp review.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
on the planet that we just.
yeah. I thought you meant for the company specifically. I'm like, well, you weren't a patron, but you left feedback for his book. Yeah.
This company sucks, and so does this planet.
The planet was lame, but it was really pretty for my sparkly dress.
Sounded pretty lame.
Well, if you had to rate it like 1 out of 5, how many stars would you have given it?
2.
That's
Damn, I got an
bold. I
extra
would have
star.
I probably would have done like a 1.5. I did have a little bit of fun.
It made my dress look very pretty.
I got to throw people through portals.
I mean, that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Saved some lives, killed some others, as
Got
one
portal
does.
Practice. That's all.
As
I
you
do.
do. As you
in
do.
RP.
Low level of your portaling skill
Hell yeah.
is now one step further. Well, we'll say past that, I do believe looking at the Kabuto, like I said, if you guys aren't sure what to spend your money on, I can just jump into the Kabuto and basically give it little extras. We can say those are what you have. So we have the Faraday Zoom Room. I don't know why I called it that, but that's what it's called. That is indeed finished. The Aldris Cannon, which basically just allows you to channel your magics through a cannon. That's specifically for you, Mr. Aldris. And you guys have a Tractor Beam, which functions like a Tractor Beam. Hey, look, there it is. Oop, I don't know that picture's so damn big. But anyway, those are the 3 things we officially have. The Faraday Room is finished. If you want to name it something fancier, you're more than welcome to do so, Nara, but it is done. Also, to be clear on it,
I want to test it out immediately.
to be clear, obviously it doesn't completely stop everything. It just helps.
So my question is,
Yes.
what exactly are we doing with this, whatever the hell it's called, the device that all the people are hunting us for? Like, what are we doing with it other than just holding on to it?
Doesn't it have information on the?
Well, because I thought
The
you were
power
hacking it to
source?
see like something, but other than that, I don't know why we're holding it.
The gray aliens?
Like we're giving it to the gray aliens?
No, it has info on them.
Oh, did we get the information?
So it has info,
We got some
On-
info.
Not everything.
but not everything.
Oh, okay. Because I was about to say, I'm like,
A
if we
lot
already
of
got the
it's like-
information, why don't we like blow it up or something?
Well, so a lot of it's encrypted,
Yes.
right? So
Effectively,
a lot of
yes.
it's encrypted, and anytime we use it, like people get immediately notified to our location.
Yeah. Effectively, it has, from what you've gathered, infinite knowledge in it for a dead year within the Lesbian Corporation, which is what Nara ran from, and is somehow tied to Aldris's past.
And so far
that's what
we
we
got
want.
some information out of it, but not everything.
And whatever you ask, whatever you want to know.
It knows everything.
Wait, so any of us can ask?
I mean, yes, anyone can ask at any
Yeah, you can
time.
ask.
Preferably be in the room when you do so. Otherwise, it'll just instantly send a signal out. And
So
usually,
you need to be in
Nara,
the Faraday room.
yeah, and then Nara will do. So basically, how that'll function, it'll just add more to your roll. Basically, we'll say it adds a +2.
If you have any questions, it's open to everybody. I'm
Yep.
just bad at asking questions. I only get access to the answers. How interested is Aldris in finding out what happened to his bird fam?
I mean, at this point, I have an idea of that.
I say, according to his his aspects, that's the main thing he's interested in.
Yeah.
And ship
So
parts.
why is that something that we're not like actively going after? Or is it just something that you're like,
Well, I thought the aliens would tell us more, or
that is
no?
so that is
Yeah,
what's
that-
kind of happening here.
You guys can literally pursue anything you want.
Okay.
But if you want to jackknife into that, you're more than welcome to do so.
I personally am along for the ride as long as it involves me making things.
I mean, you can always make things.
Yeah, but it's a lot cooler if I have a reason to do it.
I'm about to say, if she
I
has
want
a reason.
to ask the thing a question.
Okay.
Well, just be aware. 2 things. One, we have to go into the Faraday room to lower the risk. And
Well, because we don't know where the aliens are, correct?
You know
Where one is.
one is, but
one
you do not know
though.
where the rest are. So it seems, I guess, to reiterate and to be more clear from one of the prior questions, it almost seems as if this device doesn't just have information stored on it, but it's also able to gather new information. As the way it answered, when it said they are not currently here, but they have moved to here, which insinuates that it somehow is gathering more information.
Is it sentient? Not sentient, but is
That's-
it like?
That's a semi-accurate word.
Oh, it is sentient.
Well, no, I'm not saying it is, but
It's semi-accurate.
there's something in it.
Does it have any of the same elements that the power source that we use has? Is there any way to see if they're related at all?
I will say, since you've definitely been tinkering with both of them, that is kind of what you do. Only Nara would have noticed this. Yes, there is something slightly similar. Whatever was primarily used to fuel the power source, which is now inside your guys' engine, we'll say there's a known unknown in there, Nara. So
Okay.
Standard, if you were looking at a blueprint, it's like, this makes sense, what the hell is this? But you recognize the pattern of, like, this is a very unique what the hell. That same
Okay.
unique what the hell also exists within this datapad.
I do love to find out the answer to what the hell is that. So
So you said we know the location to 1.
Correct.
Can we go to the 1?
You very much can. You guys can go anywhere you want, do anything you want to do.
I figured we should get like another mission if we're gonna go there. Just like see if there's anything else we can do there, just in case we can't find him.
So when we ask the question for where it is,
Mhm.
it sends a delay. It's
Well,
like
we
a
already know
delayed answer.
where the 1 is, so we wouldn't have to ask it, right?
No,
Right.
I mean the. Okay.
Yeah, so for new questions, depending on how well you roll, and like I mentioned before, technically, Nara doesn't know how well she did. If you see a 7, it's just like, I feel you did really well. But if you roll a 1, you probably also feel you did pretty well too. Just because it's relatively unknown. So you can roleplay that however you want, but basically you kind of always, unless you get like a -3, which should be
Numbers.
physically impossible because you have very good stats. In general, it's kind of
Don't
one of those.
tell me what I can't do.
Yeah, so like you're gonna succeed no matter what. You just don't know how much you succeeded.
Okay.
Effectively,
Well, I
yeah.
think Nara's pretty confident in all things.
Yeah. I figured that would
So
definitely be part of her.
she rolls a -1, she's like, I got this.
Effectively, yeah.
Bang.
Yeah,
So we have the coordinates to the aliens-ish location, correct?
correct. Yes,
We know the planet he's on.
you know the planet he's on.
Okay. I wanna contact the other cowboy guy. I almost said Wild Billy Ugly. I want to contact him and ask him if he has any jobs in that quadrant.
So you reach out to Mr. Howdy McCormick, as you do, and he comes up on the large monitor. You see his face far too close to the camera, and he is just smiling, just looking directly into it. Doesn't say anything. Just looking at you, Ryder.
Hello again.
Well, hello there, Mr. Ryder. How you doing?
Oh, lovely as ever. I want to know if there's any jobs you have for me that are in that relative area.
Well, I always got something for you, Mr. Ryder. Anything in particular you'd be looking for?
I don't know. Give me some choices. I like picking.
Oh, give you some choices. All right, my friend. Let's see here. What you in the mood for, buddy? I mean, we got travel. We got bringing items to location A to B to C and D, and sometimes back to A. We got shooting folk. We got helping folk. We got planting some. I don't even know what the hell these are. Some sort of seeds or something.
What's the shooting folk one?
I mean, people just kind of need to be shot in general. That's just sort of how life is. So it depends what kind of folk you want to shoot, I'd say. Depends how dirty you want to get. I heard I don't know how big your crew is now, Ryder. Y'all are crazy. You got those big old metal machines, though, those mechanoid beasts. If you want to use those, of course, that's an option. You want to,
Have
practice
a
up on you.
bounty
Yeah.
that is highly wanted and is a, how do you say, quote unquote, skilled criminal, as in he might be problems for us.
I will say in that quadrant, no. That's kind of Booneyville, no way. Yeah, sort of catch my drift. I'd say probably no and dangerous.
Well, that just ruffles my gills.
I mean, of course I can.
Gills.
I can throw names at you, of course, but they're not going to be in that general location. You'll have to do a little bit of entering.
Well, I mean, I'm always down for adventuring. But, you know, to keep the namesake of the writers being the best bounty hunters, you know, sometimes you got to take down some of these big guys to stop making them think they're better than us.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Ryder. When you said Riders, do you mean there's more than one of you, or is that like your group's name, or like a family name?
Well, I just mean like my crew, the writers.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure there's not like little riders running around.
Oh, I mean, there might
There
be
is somewhere.
You know, I can't keep up with all the things I do in this universe.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe a heist, like where it's like really hard to get into some place to get an item for someone paying a lot of money.
I mean, I can definitely do that for you. Does your crew have an opinion on the matter?
What's the
hold on, let me put you on mute. What do you guys want to do, crew?
What was the seed planting mission?
What?
He didn't elaborate.
The seed planting mission?
The DM said, "Do you want to plant some seeds?"
Let's plant some seeds.
I am insanely curious, my love.
I mean, are they seeds of like a rebellion? Or are they actually seeds?
That is a good point.
Nara's like, she clicks on the comm and she's like, tell me more about the seeds.
I mean, it seems to be a pretty straightforward mission. If let me read through real quick. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's just a problem somewhere out in space, as per usual. I mean, we are very much used to this dog and pony show by this point. It looks like some folk are just having kind of issues collecting their food and such, and they just want protection, planting some seeds, and maybe receiving some assistance from an outside force, someone that has a green thumb, if you will.
Doesn't sound like it pays very good.
I mean,
Probably not.
It just kind of pays decently, if I'm being entirely honest. I just thought I'd throw it in there because it was fun.
What's
Well,
the outside force?
Bandits, apparently. It's relatively dangerous. Well,
Liam,
a
do you have a
combination
green
of
thumb?
bandits and other locals. It's not very detailed. It's kind of on the underside of most of my other jobs. That's why I didn't open with it. I just thought I'd throw it in there in case someone's interested in...
As much as I like killing bandits, I kind of want to either hunt somebody, because that's what I do, or get something that's really hard to get for somebody.
Works for me. We can always kill bandits another day.
I mean, they're everywhere. You just open your window.
Exactly.
Just shoot randomly. You'll probably hit someone. But
Like,
don't do that.
Think of it like this.
For legal reasons, don't tell anyone I told you that.
What's his name again?
My name?
Yes.
Howdy McCormick.
Listen, Howdy. Okay, I have one of, if not the best pilots in the galaxy. All right. I have an amazing hacker on board, an amazing universal magician Birdman, and the best bounty hunter in the world. I need something that gives us challenge.
Well, I mean, good sir, Mr. Ryder, I can offer you challenge, but you sort of limited your options. That specific quadrant is exactly dangerous.
Ignore the specific quadrant. Just give me something challenging.
Oh yeah, sure. There's a hit on your head. Someone specifically is trying to kill you. I mean,
I know that. That's
okay, yeah. I'm sure you're aware of that. It actually looks like someone now. I will say this isn't exactly well, I guess it's technically an official hit. It's just sort of out there, like wink, wink. Go ahead and shoot this guy in the face if you wouldn't mind. But nothing too crazy. In fact, doesn't really. Well, it pays decently well, but it's not that detailed, and some folk have taken it up, but most seem to be ignoring it. If you'd like, I could. I probably shouldn't, but you seem like a nice gentleman. I can tell you folk that have been interested in it.
Who?
Little creature named Nizachi.
I thought you were going to say a different name. I'm glad.
I mean,
Nizachi?
I'm sure there are plenty of folk that might want to hunt you in the near future, but you got a pretty good rep for yourself, Mr. Ryder. So I don't think they want to step on any toes.
Is hunting me?
They expressed interest. I will say the way these bounties work and such, it's more just a book you collect, and then if you kind of just shoot people and if their faces match, you turn them in.
I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand. Listen, me and I know this Nizachi guy, all right?
And they're fairly well known.
Oh, I know they're fairly well known.
Yeah, not as well known as you, Mr. Ryder.
There's me.
Yeah.
There's is it Chet?
Mr. Chadley Starblazer?
Chadley. There's Chadley, and then there's Nizachi, from the other quadrant who thinks he owns that place. So I've run into this guy before. But the funny thing is, he thinks he can hunt me.
I had a little giggle myself.
Again, I'm not too worried about it. I've dealt with him in the past
Mm-hmm.
while he wasn't trying to hunt me. So I know what he's working with.
I mean, that's
what
fair
can
enough.
me and my crew... so he's hunting us. So it's not like, me going out there and sniping him is not like, he doesn't have a hit on him, correct?
Not necessarily, but I can guarantee you the boy's got some money on him.
Well, yeah, but as much as I would love to prove I'm a better bounty hunter, unless he has a bounty on his head, unless he's attacking me, I'd rather go after something big with the crew.
Fair enough. If you happen to run into him, I guess just shoot him. He seems like a decent individual, so, well, it didn't bother me none.
You wouldn't say that if you played poker with him.
So your crew, well, I guess you got someone gunning after you, so you got that handled. You looking to steal something, looking to shoot up a joint? Usually those kind of go hand in hand. Well, I guess if you're sneaking, you shouldn't be shooting, but,
Steal.
That's entirely up to you. Sure, looking to steal. Let me see here. And he kind of turns, and you can see him spooning something into his mouth. It looks slimy. It's probably cooked, but he's not really looking directly at it.
Something kind of like a bank heist or something.
Bank heist. Well, what kind of banks you looking to rob? Because that'll kind of get you in the hot water. Usually, most of these bounties and such I have don't require robbing from governmental agencies. Sometimes, but not always.
I'm not interested in robbing a bank. I want to win the money.
Yeah, I mean bank heist-esque, not like us going to a place stealing money. I mean like someone's paying us to go get an item or something that's like a bank heist, as in it's hard to get into.
That's fair enough. It looks like, let's see. Oh, perfect. Or not perfect. Who knows? It looks like I actually do have something right here for you, friend. It seems there is a... Well, I will say something regarding this particular heist, if you will, because you do seem quite interested. I would highly recommend discrepancy. Keep some of this information to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Does he say this with all his customers?
Maybe. Who knows? But from what I can tell, the bit that I can tell you, Mr. Ryder, and I'm sure you'll be interested. Difficult? Check. Dangerous? Check. I'd break into? Check. Stealing something from somebody that probably shouldn't have it? Double check. It seems a group has somehow stolen, created. There's a bunch of bullshit down here that doesn't exactly track. Regardless, from what I can tell, let's just put it this way. A group has an item that another group does not want them to have, and they would prefer it if you could procure it for them. If you would like to do this, I can give you more information.
Group, what do you say?
Let's go. Works for me.
Works for me.
Wonderful.
All right, send us the bill.
Perfect. The client specifically is going to go unnamed. You will be paid, and the money's good, from what I can tell. So you'll just kind of have to trust all howdy.
As long as I'm getting paid, that's all I care about.
You will 100% get paid. I can promise you that.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, partner. And he just kind of leans back in his chair and motions, and as he does, your console lights up. As it does, you are given pretty much all the information you could possibly need.
Sorry, I just imagine this is like I just imagine when Howdy sends over like a job or whatever on our little dash, like a little like hologram pops up with 8-bit or 16-bit like cowboy with 2 pistols and just like howdy, and it just like shows the information.
It is your ship. However you want the info displayed is entirely up to you. I'm totally cool with that.
Howdy.
Alrighty. From what you can tell, this individual will go unnamed. The product is a weapon. Client states the item is ours. We want it back. The people that took it are terrorists, and they give them a whole bunch of awful names. They took it from us. They stole it from a research facility. We weren't planning on using it. It was purely meant for defense. As per usual, you're not going to know who this person is.
So do we have a description of what the weapon looks like?
There's actually an image. And once again, you are sworn to security before you're allowed to see what the image looks like.
The NDA.
Effectively, yes. It wants a retinal or scan, if you don't have eyes, or general scan, from each of you before you're allowed to see this. If you refuse the scan, you don't see anything. You just see a block that pops up with no detail.
Yeah, I show my eyeball.
I assume everyone's cool.
It'd be awkward if this was from
The Lazar Incorporation.
the Leslie Incorporation.
How awkward.
Well, I'll
we
be
just
on the
blew up
lookout
one of your
for
stations, but here's us making it up for you.
Sorry about that one, but we'd rather get paid.
So the weapon, we see it.
Obviously, Liam is scanned as well. Basically, anything living that can speak. So Meek gets around it because he can't talk, and so does Bart and Ghost. So y'all are good. A large light block appears in front of you and is slowly chipped away until essentially what you see, it actually almost looks like a propulsion system in a way, like a jet, kind of a classic Earth style, right? You can
I thought you were gonna say
generally
another
say.
sniper rifle. I was like, ooh, time to shoot it again.
No, actually, it doesn't really look like a weapon. It's quite strange, actually. It is round. It's very bucket-like, and from what you can tell, it sort of gives you some specifications in terms of the size. It's pretty big. From what you can gather, it is not as big as the Kabuto, but the Kabuto would have to kind of pick it up, or you would need to trail it behind the Kabuto in something. You would basically need to put it in something else, because your general cargo zone in the Kabuto probably, it might be able to carry it.
You're saying it's almost as big as the Kabuto?
It's almost, it would essentially fill the deck where all your mechs are. It would basically fill that whole
Cargo
area.
bay?
Cargo bay, yeah. It would fill essentially the entire cargo bay. So you guys could probably fit it in there, or you could trail it behind the Kabuto while you're bringing it to the client. But it is big.
Does it say if it's in a bunker, or like, are we having to like go at it with our mechs?
It is in a planet.
Oh, in a planet.
In a planet. And this particular planet, unfortunately, it is called Rod. It's not exactly a safe place. It is going to be past the location. As a reminder, the alien that I mentioned to you guys is on the planet Himar, which is the farm planet that Dorio Warders was on, and the giant Kevin mechanical ostrich bird that wasn't very nice. Rod, this other planet, is some jump past Himar.
Ah, yes,
So-
that mechanical burb.
The mechanical burb. Fortunately for you guys, and the speed of the Kabuto, effectively everything is along the way, so it doesn't really hurt you too much, which is just absolutely wonderful. One downside to this planet, as you guys are receiving more and more information, is that Rod has been known to some as a living planet. There are so many beings, and
Ego, the living planet.
not in that sense. This one has a little less. Well, we'll say this: it's never been proven that the planet itself can speak or has conscious. It is just kind of there. But because of that, it is not somewhere you'd want to live. Anyone who has attempted to colonize the planet has been, well, we've lost contact with them. Usually immediately destroyed, absorbed into the planet. There is really nowhere you'd want to live on this planet anyway. To begin with, basically people have just given up trying to live on this planet. How anyone is storing something here is anyone's guess.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Is like, how are the bandits or thieves or whoever these people are on that planet if it's hard to live on?
It is quite dangerous. One would assume they are hiding it there because no one has the balls, basically, to go and get it. The beings that live there are not exactly kind.
Alrighty then.
So, do we have information on what kind of people stole it?
You do not. Lots of, I wouldn't say expletives, but not very positive words. Basically, their guess is it is a group of individuals who either were trying to sell it for money, maybe some form of bandits or whatever that were maybe trying to fight back. Maybe they're working for the other side. From what you gathered, the original owner, the person that put this bounty out, they're guessing that it might have been their enemy. And as I mentioned, they're not currently at war, but every planet, every system, every group has someone they're butting heads with. So their general guess is that this is either a group they're butting heads with or someone that was paid to take it from them to leave them open and weak and waste their resources in trying to get it back, which is why they want you guys to go get it back.
Gotcha. GG, full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead.
All right, question. Where are we going first?
Do you want to stop by Bird Planet to check out Alien Boy, or do you want to head to the big thing?
Bird Planet.
As long as we go to both, it doesn't really matter to me.
GG, make a pit stop to Bird Planet.
All right. Pit stop, here we come.
Worried about that big thing too much for moving. It's from our intel, it seems like it's going to be a pain in the butt to move anyway, so
Yes, and because Howdy likes you so much, The general information he gave you is effectively, because he respects you, only one person can be on this bounty at a time. Because no one else took it, obviously, you're the only ones currently trying to get it. How safe is this super weapon? We have no idea, but in general, you should be the only ones that are aware of it. Alrighty, Miss Gigi with her expert piloting skills brings us fairly quickly to Himar. As I mentioned, the large stone farm planet where you guys met Doria warders. What would you call them, Georgiana? Octopus people? They're all tentacly. Most of them were
Does
tentacly.
Georgiana like
the
that?
tentacles away from Nara.
I totally don't remember.
Your characters
Am I
are
running?
unsafe. In all timelines, you are unsafe.
Suddenly Nara's like, I'm uncomfortable.
I don't know
like it
why.
here anymore.
I don't know
I don't know
why,
what's
but I'm very
happening.
uncomfortable. Alrighty. But the 4 of you, plus Liam, and other pets, or the 4 of you plus pets, if we're counting Liam as one, all arrive with no issue. You guys aren't, heralded as great saviors or anything, but nobody stops you. This is a pretty common trade planet, and most people don't really come here for any reason. After you guys is, you're called in and whatnot, they give you pretty quick clearance as, hey, they helped that slightly crazy lady on the hill with all the mechanoid beasts and such. And she does help us, and they helped her, so yeah, sure. They basically have free range. Y'all are good. Last you guys were here, you were being stared at. As I mentioned, 98% of the people here are all the tentacloid-looking folk. So Georgiana, you stack out quite a bit. And of course, Aldris, you're a walking bird, so...
What's that supposed to mean?
They're walking tentacles, so... You look at them, they look at you.
Taken, so they're no longer as interesting as they used to be.
How feathery and how colorful is essentially the general response. The information you received from the data pad was just that the being is here. That's all you know. It is here. This is an entire planet, so you're not really sure how you're going to find it. But upon looking around, everything seems to be relatively normal. Everyone's kind of just chilling and they're just working.
Alrighty then.
Well, the last one was in like that dragon thing's cave. I don't know if they try to stay to the same general types of areas, but we could check caves or something.
That's not a bad idea.
How are you attempting to find him, then?
I guess we can ask some locals if there's any large caverns around.
Well, and can
I can
the
also
Kabuto do
geography scan.
yeah?
I heard the word
Good old
scan,
scan.
and I'll say yes. The Kabuto can very much scan. So prioritizing those locations, some of you guys walking around asking locals, you discover that they recall having a visitor about a week or so ago, your guys' time, because obviously every planet is different. Some of them are just tourists, which is very strange. There's nothing to tour here. Others were here to pick things up. And, as I mentioned, just kind of tourists, which were slightly strange, but all the same, they just shrugged it off. They thought you guys were tourists at first when they saw you. Other than that, Aldris, upon asking around, you discover that these tourists asked to see some of the caves. And as I mentioned, this is a large stony farm planet. They do a lot of mining with various tools and such. They attempt to plant what they can, but because almost this entire planet is just a giant rock, it's borderline impossible. There are some very strange plants you've definitely not seen before. You're not sure if they're edible or what their purposes are, but they somehow grow like directly in the stone, which is really interesting to look at, but not really sure what their purposes are. You don't see anyone like eating them or anything. They're kind of just there, so maybe they're testing. Who knows? The scans from the Kabuto back up what Aldris has learned from the locals. That there is... This could be anything. It could be a ship, could be a mech, could be some machine they have working down there. But there is some activity fairly deep in these caves.
Well, time to dig deep.
Do we have spelunking gear?
I have hiking gear.
That you guys went spelunking on that ice planet.
Wait, was that considered spelunking?
You guys went down.
I had those grapes for it.
We
Yeah,
went
what?
down. That means it's spelunking.
You had grapes?
Grips, like
grape.
hooks.
I heard grapes. Yeah, I heard grapes. Sorry, I was like, what?
No, that's
Same.
I wasn't very
Space grapes. Space grapes for hiking.
Space grapes.
I mean, really, what else would you use space grapes for? Let's be honest. So taking the equipment you all have, you have plenty of ropes and such if you need them. Sometime, even in the far future, it's nice to have things of this nature, just in case boosters don't work, just in case. Aldris' flying should work pretty well, and just in general. Do you guys want to leave Liam behind, or is he coming with?
Kind of want him to come with.
He can very much do that. Is Meek coming with?
I mean,
He tries to follow you
with
everywhere.
last time,
So yeah,
why not?
no matter what, he will by default follow you everywhere. You have to basically force him to stay on the ship if he's going to stay.
I just get worried that somebody else will steal him, and that's not us.
That could
It's
be
fine.
potentially bad.
I'll blow them up
Meek will lick them
until they die.
with the bad lick. He
Not
has
the
a good lick. He has a good lick for reference. He has licked you guys before and you've not died. Maybe he's like eating your atoms, but you haven't fallen apart. Who knows? Maybe he'll lick you enough you guys just like turn to gas. That's horrifying. Anyway, your finger just floats off. Okay, bye. I didn't need you anyway. Alrighty, well, fairly easy because this planet is literally made for farming and splunking and such. It doesn't really take you guys too much effort to get down here. You cannot bring your mechs this deep, but you could bring them halfway if you wanted to. Of course, if you guys want, you could just spend a decent portion of the day kind of just, jetpacking around and just floating around using Eldritch's magic and such. Not difficult because these people go down here literally every day. It's their job. So as you guys are on foot, descending down and down, sources for light. Do you guys have like a suit, like a headlamp or something? It is pitch black down here.
Oh,
so.
I always have a headlamp. Is that a real question?
You definitely do.
I can make a mini sun.
I trust.
Your hair doesn't just glow. Bioluminescent.
I mean, my earrings might.
You
Get an
guys,
upgrade for you later. You just
Yeah.
glow.
that'd be amazing. What it does, it glows, obviously.
Glow.
Do I get any
That's
pluses? Yeah, you get +1 to
All you
glow.
need.
Hell yeah. As you guys descend and descend, you see that the light sources they choose to use are actually these interesting, like green stone. And if you drip some sort of liquid on them, it might just be water, you're not entirely sure, they glow. They actually give you guys a set of these initially, but they do wear down. The more water you sprinkle on them, the more the stone itself wears down. It gives off less and less light. After a while, it just kind of puts. You guys eventually descend so far that you use about half of it, and then probably decide to save it for later because, as Aldris mentioned, he has a son. Aldris has a hat of light, or Nara has a hat of light. Aldris has a son. Georgiana is Georgiana. Liam doesn't have eyes, so he doesn't need to see, apparently. But you all descend to the point past where they normally work. They do warn you, might be a little dangerous. There shouldn't be any creatures or anything you run into. Just don't slip and fall, because it goes down pretty far. You're just going to fall and fall and fall. Unless you have, pointing to Aldris, wings. Or a friend with wings. So just be mostly careful, please. We don't want to, we're not going to dig up your corpses if you fall.
Damn.
No one's going down there, basically, is what they're telling you.
Rude.
Acceptable.
As you descend further and further, you're met with what seems to be just a maze. It effectively feels like, if we were to zoom out, have you guys seen an ant farm from the side?
Yes.
It looks like that.
Wonderful.
It is relatively open, but occasionally it closes. The stone around you isn't dark like an obsidian, it's more of a gray, and it ranges pretty drastically between sharp and weirdly smooth. And it's not really all that reflective either. You can actually see the minerals within it. And as you guys look about, you sort of come to a point where you realize delving around down here for too long would leave you indefinitely lost. So sort of met at a proverbial crossroad. What do you all do?
So the problem is getting lost, though, right?
It feels like it, yes.
Like,
Do we have anything to leave, like a breadcrumb trail?
I definitely have been making a map this entire time in my brain.
Oh, you're not writing
Your
anything
brain.
down?
Oh, no, I guess I would be writing it down.
I would definitely say that Nara indeed has a data pad that is able to pretty accurately track, as mentioned before. If this is the far future, you guys can make up technology on the fly, as long as it's reasonable and your character would have it.
Can
Yeah,
you...
so I'll make a map on my datapad then.
Is
Okay.
that shareable between data pads? Because we might get totally lost if we split up.
I put malware on Georgiana's datapad.
Oh
Why?
I feel
no.
like the
Why would
pad
you
would be
do that?
like almost like a D&D style like square map, and then like the thing can track your location, so anytime you walk you can kind of like draw how big the room is, and then it just keeps track of like where you are GPS wise.
That would make sense.
I'll share the file with everybody.
All right, you will have this map that Nara is updating, and as she updates it, it updates live for you guys.
Nice.
The further you descend, Aldris, you get a strange, familiar feeling.
Oh,
This is
boy.
only felt by you, though.
There's a Greyboy down here.
Greyboy.
I can feel the Greyboy.
All right,
You
well, in
feel
that
the
case,
Greyboy?
I want to follow the bird boy whichever way he goes.
Met with multiple paths. Aldris, are you just kind of like gonna use your bird senses and just kind of go with the flow?
Use the bird sense.
Excellent. Checking for bird sense. You do realize that if you basically just let go and just kind of walk and do what feels right, Meek seems to be following you very confidently. He's just kind of tap, 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 those little feet just beside you, walking the whole time, as Aldris effectively takes the lead and takes multiple very confident left turns and right turns, and he climbs down and climbs up and goes all these different directions. You guys realize you are indeed quite deep down here. The further and further you go in, the less touched it looks by any living being. But you actually do get to a really interesting point. Just up ahead, Aldris, you see it first as you are leading. It suddenly looks like, in fact, that's not true. Someone's been here. Someone's very obviously been here. The walls are shaved and peeled away, almost as if heavy winds have blown against them, or torrential tides just over and over and over throughout the years. It's unreasonably smooth, I'll say. And if any of you were to run your hands along it, you would feel like a thin layer of dust, but it is incredibly smooth. Not dust that's been here a while. Sort of like after you sand, there's that fine layer. And looking up ahead, Aldris, the area opens up quite a bit. It looks like as if it was getting smaller and smaller to the point where you actually might need to crawl through some openings. But before your claustrophobia, if you happen to have that, would kick in.
Definitely.
Suddenly it just opens up. The span of this is about 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. Almost exactly. If you were to measure it, you would find that it would be exact. And it's circular.
That's not normal. Guess we continue in.
Might as well.
Okay. And as the four of you continue heading forward, Aldris, that feeling comes to you stronger and stronger. It feels discordant, though. There are times in your life when you have felt this pulse, whatever it is. There's almost a rhythm to it. It feels right. This feels like freeform jazz. It's everywhere, all at once. There's a rhythm to it, but only the person playing this music knows what that rhythm is. It's entirely discordant from your own. This general feeling you've not experienced from other living beings. So Ryder, Liam, Georgiana, and Nara, none of them lit off this pulse, whatever it is. But there are a few times you've definitely experienced this. And without having to go too much further on, you can see the room expand even further. The cylindrical hallway that you've all been kind of heading down. It opens up from about a 10 by 10 to closer to 100 by 100. And at the end of this location, you indeed see your gray alien friend. His sort of bulbous body floating there, his overly long and thin arms, with his incredibly long fingers, sort of fiddling away at something against the wall. As mentioned before, this creature has no eyes. Instead, eyes sort of float around it, almost as if they're pulled by some sort of gravitational force around his head. They're not currently spinning around him. They are focused on whatever is in front of him. Occasionally, one will flit backwards. You're not sure if he's already seen you, if he feels you as well, whatever pulse you're letting off, Aldris. But he seems focused on whatever is going on in front of him. And there seems to be a light emanating from him. It is green. It's coming from past him, whatever he's messing with.
Oh, I throw the little mini sun that I've been using for light just past him onto the wall that he's staring at.
You throw it towards him. What's your intention with this? Just to start light him up and say, hey?
Pretty much.
As it flies by, he doesn't respond instantly, and he gets closer and closer. You think it's going to hit him. He's almost kind of swaying and moving about. And it doesn't strike him, but it does indeed fly past him and stop right before it touches the wall. You can see it floating there, and then from over his shoulder, you can sort of see his hand slowly rising, almost as if he caught this ball of light. He sort of swirls it in his hand and swirls it and swirls it, his long fingers dancing around this ball of heat. And you can just see it slowly unraveling and coming apart. The fire jumping off in licks. And it just unravels into nothing. A ball of yarn.
My ball. turn around, or does he just do that?
He pauses for a moment, still working on what he's poking with. His right arm that caught the ball slowly pulls back down to what he was working on. You can sort of see him twitch as he does indeed begin to turn around. Ryder, Georgiana, and Nara, as Aldris does this, what do you guys do?
Make a video.
Take a video.
Yeah.
Cheer him on silently.
Is there somewhere for me to hide behind?
No,
Yeah,
this area is
there any-
completely open. So
I don't like that.
imagine,
I don't like that. Even with my 4 stealth?
imagine this. This is exactly what you guys say. From the really awkward, horrible crawling zone you guys came out before, imagine if a 10-foot diameter ball of air, heat, whatever it is, just pushed its way into pure stone and left an exact, perfect 10 by 10 circle just pushing all the way through for maybe 100 or so feet. And then that ball expanded to about 100 feet. So there is literally nothing except for a large, just flat area to stand in.
Incredible.
It is somewhat curved where you guys are now. You don't see any machines or any weapons or anything that he would have used to dig this, but you know he indeed did this.
I'm gonna have to glomp onto Liam and cower.
Okay. He kind of floats his hand above his firearm on your side. Doesn't draw it, but just by instinct, his hand's kind of shaking as he's watching it, and he does hold on to you, Georgiana. Nara, do you
Right.
actually record it?
Yeah, Pamby boy, cowards
Yeah.
here.
Okay. Ryder, what do you do?
I do. I try to take it sneakily, though. I'm not. I just think it's. I'll let Aldris know later.
Fair enough. I mean, we can say the goggles you're wearing can record whatever you're saying.
I push a little button on the side, and
It's just the one, right?
Just the one, yeah. Well, he's kind of hunched over-ish, so it's difficult to tell his actual height. But he's a big boy. He's about 8-9 feet tall, if you will. He doesn't have any legs.
What do you mean he's got no legs?
He has no legs. My earlier description of him was basically just his body, like just take a body and cut the legs off. His bottom half is kind of, it just stops there. It's slightly bulbous, kind of sagging a bit in that general area, and just kind of moves up into a body. Long, spindly, spider-like arms, and just sort of a head with, once again, no features whatsoever. The skin is pulled very tight. There are no eyes, no nose, no mouth.
That was the weirdest description I've ever heard.
I'm totally not creeped out at all.
He turns and looks at you all.
Well, Aldris, you got this. You talked a weird, fat, skinny thing.
Come on, yeah. We found what we were looking for.
The eyes sort of spin around it quickly, and they look at you all just a second, but they're very much focused on Aldris and his companion.
I will stare at him and just say, "Hey, Greyboy, what you doing here?"
He slowly floats towards you, Aldris, and you can see behind him is a strange-looking mechanical box, it looks like. And this box is expanding. Imagine if, like with pixels, like 16-bit or 32-bit graphics were just like spreading outward in cubes. It's basically unfolding like that, like a Rubik's Cube, except the cubes themselves are like tiny. And it's this box on the wall that's just slowly, like, each cube by pixel is like expanding against the wall. And occasionally that pixel, rather than being this like weird black metal, whatever the hell this thing's made of, it's like a green light. And it's just slowly like tick, tick.
I'm gonna nudge Nara with my shoulder and be like, Nara.
Yep.
Do you see that thing on the wall?
Yeah, what about it?
I don't like the look of it. You should try to hack into it to see what it is.
You got it, boss.
'Cause it's growing.
Oh, it is. All right. Oh, gosh, I'll have to turn off my camera. All right.
Wait, Nara, I'll take your camera.
The camera's my glasses.
Oh, damn it.
You know, they're actually just goggles. I'll take off the goggles. This is the first time Georgiana's seen me without goggles in 6 months.
Oh, Gigi, slow motion. You see her hair
Only
just
6
flip down. The goggles.
I gasp, swoon. Wow, those eyes.
Is there an
I
indentation?
wink. Yeah. It's a little red from where it was pressing into my skin. So I pass the goggles on over, quietly, of course, and then I get out my data pad to see what I can do about the thing on the wall.
Okay. First, Aldris, you said, "Hey, Greyboy," just hey, basically.
Basically, just, "Hey, what are you doing here?"
What the Greyboy doing? He slowly floats towards you, Aldris.
My God, he's still floating. Ooh.
And with a shaking hand, he points back to the device, and then he points back to you, and you don't, once again, no expression. You can, feel him smile, almost as if he's sharing his emotions with you. And you hear him speak. You can all hear him speak. He has no mouth to form the words, though. Aldris, I am here doing my duty. Are you here to assist? Are you ready? And you recognize this voice in his way of speaking. This feels like the same one you spoke with last time.
Ooh, he gets around, huh?
Oh boy. I've been asked that question before, and I still have no idea what you're expecting me to do. But I came here for answers, because the last one you didn't tell me shit.
Expecting you to follow the directive, Aldris. And as he's speaking with Aldris Nara, you attempt to sort of scan the room and see what technology he has on him and anything you can jump into and hack into, etc., etc. You're very good at this. You've done this hundreds and thousands of times. It's like breathing for you.
I don't like the way you're saying that.
You don't see anything. It's metal. There's nothing to hack into, though. There's no server.
Nothing
there's
to hack into?
There's no CPU. Nothing's running it that you can tell. No technology you've messed with before, at least.
I'm going to start running scans on it then. This is bullshit. What do you mean?
What are you scanning for precisely?
To see what it's made of, I guess.
All right.
To see if there are any signals coming out of it.
You begin to do that, and almost instantly, once again, the signals don't make any sense, but they don't make any sense perfectly. You've seen this nonsensical signal before. Part of it was in the datapad. Part of it is in the booster engine that is now attached to the Kabuto. And you do realize it'll take a hot moment to get any more information from this, but it's strange. It's very, very odd. If you permit me to use the term, it is incredibly alien. And the being doesn't seem to stop you. He's just kind of floating there, just chilling, looking at Aldra. And he reaches out his hand again to point to all of you. He points to Ryder and Liam and Georgiana and Aura. Have you brought them? Are they part of your cultivation?
I still don't know what that means.
The cultivation.
He points to himself and then to you, Aldris. Our lives, the way we see the world, the way we live. Do you recall my prior experiment? And he doesn't need to say it. You just feel, and you know he means the other planet with the dragon on it.
You mean the dragon thing?
He nods and says, correct, the failed experiment. They were wrong. Something was not correct, and they needed to be reset. He touches his chest, and you can sort of see something under his flesh glow. It almost as if there's like a heat source or a light source or something inside him, and you see this pulse of green and red and purple light just dance under his flesh. He says, they are here now with me, and puts both his hands forward, and you see just barely, he's still slowly floating towards you. And you can see just barely between his fingertips there are these old strings, and he's they're culminating this epicenter in front of him. They're kind of building out this little circle, and it makes a little faux planet. And he kind of plays this quick little puppet show for you of people growing on this little earth, this little ball, and then you see them talking to each other. You see them kind of fight, and they're kind of moving along this ball, very, very, very puppet show-esque. And there's this little dragon that kind of forms out of it. It's like, "Rawr," and then they go, ah, and then these little buildings are grown. They run into the buildings, and then the dragon kind of stomps around and crushes one, and then it moves around a little more, and the ball's getting bigger and bigger. It's maybe 4 feet across now. And you can see more and more folk, and they're starting to find civilization. The dragon kind of huddles down into its little cave, and anytime someone leaves town, the dragon comes back out and it eats one, and then it kind of just cycles and cycles and cycles and cycles, and it just never progresses. And then he kind of just claps and just disappears. They failed, but provided enough sustenance for me to move on. And now we look here. What do you not understand, Aldris? Did you forget your directive?
I guess. Whatever the hell you're talking about.
You feel disappointment and sadness.
Aldrich does no shit.
He says nothing, but you can definitely feel as if he's like, you waste all your time not doing anything. Why? Almost like a father that, has a son come back home and is like, you've accomplished nothing.
I
And-
am Aldrich's father.
I told him this before.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's surprised.
There's a hint of confusion in there. None of his emotions are pure or raw. There's a hint of either, you don't know if it's self-doubt or something else, but that dancing chaos, that free-form jazz is in every word he says and every emotion that he pulses out. This feeling only hits Aldris. The disappointment doesn't touch any of you. You can hear him speak, and you're feeling various emotions kind of pop out of him of just, I wouldn't say happiness, but like joy that he's seen Aldris and his little buddy there. And then he points to the two of you. Well, our experiment will not go to waste. I see you have him there with you. Such an odd form he's chosen to take. But Aldris, your job, your mission is to create life, to cultivate, to look for us. Places we can do our work, where we can weave life into existence. We let you free amongst your people to do this.
Where the hell is the rest of my people? Because I haven't seen a single one.
Looking at you, he pauses,
Died.
and he points his finger to Meek, and Meek looks up at you. They are all there, inside of the creature you refer to as Meek.
How the hell does that even work?
Can they come back out?
Do you say that?
Yes.
You saying that, Gigi, does elicit a response. If anything, he's kind of been ignoring what you guys are doing and saying in the background, but that sort of makes him laugh. And you feel amusement. It's like a child saying something that everyone knows is wrong. He doesn't answer it. You just
He said you stupid.
you just get that feeling. Yeah. It honestly, it's a little offensive. It's 100% rude. And then to go back to Nara quickly.
Mm-hmm.
What you're seeing from this thing on the wall that's slowly growing outwards, unfortunately, it's almost like reconstituting itself and changing its signature, but you're able to sort of latch onto it. Go ahead and roll me your burgle. Your burglin.
Burgle.
Burgle. In all this time, you've been poking and prodding and poking at it, and you're not necessarily trying to hack into it now because you know that's essentially folly. There's nothing to hack into.
Mm-hmm.
And you sense that it isn't purely mechanical. It's also organic, but it's also something else in between.
Is it similar to the ship?
Yes, it is similar. Whatever is emanating from this creature, whatever it came from, because you've scanned it quite a bit, part of the energy signature on the datapad, but like most of the energy source is emanated in this thing. They feel not perfectly similar, but very, very, very similar. This is a signature you see nowhere. You've seen it on Aldris, like partially on the datapad, definitely on the power source that you guys put into the boosters on the Kabuto, but this is something that almost never comes up.
I'm backing up this data,
Okay.
just so you know.
Yeah, and the being seems completely just uninterested with you.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Treating us like ants makes this really easy.
Yeah.
And then looking at...
Can I shoot out my my drone?
What's it doing?
I want it to fly near the stuff on the wall.
As it begins to fly, it goes to essentially pass by, I wouldn't say the local space of this weaver floating here, but as it goes to pass him, he kind of just waves a hand, almost as if waving away a fly, and it just falls apart into pieces. And you see all the pieces just clatter to the floor. This happens during the conversation with Aldris, so he doesn't turn to look at it, he kind of just waves his hand and it just falls apart.
It wasn't very nice.
And then looking to Aldris, he also points up, and he says, the individual in your group also happened to take another part of your people. How fortuitous to have you all brought together.
I have a bad feeling about this. We all hear this, though, right?
You're all hearing this, yes.
Do you have any more questions, Aldris? I think it's time to go.
Yeah, I don't like the fact that a simple wave could disassemble my drone.
I honestly don't think I would even be paying attention to them. I'd just be paying attention to Greyboy.
That's fair. This whole time he's been slowly floating closer to you.
I'm gonna talk in the common in Aldris' ear and be like, "Bird boy, it's trying to go."
I want to take off my shoe and throw it at him.
At who?
Aldris.
Okay. You saying that, Ryder? As you go to speak before the words can leave your mouth, he sort of flicks his finger at Aldris and the device in his ear just deteriorates. The shoe that goes flying across the room once again just deteriorates, just falls to like just strings and whatever leather was holding it together just flops on the floor.
I'll take off
Well,
my other
good
shoe
thing-
and throw it at the alien.
Good thing I didn't do what I was about to do.
He does the same thing again to your other shoe. He just turns into nothing.
Gigi, stop!
Lucky those
moving
were
your
my
shoes.
favorite shoes.
All right,
Your voice echoes
James,
throughout this hall.
We need to get Aldris. He's clearly too stuck staring at this alien thing, and I don't know what this alien thing's gonna do, but trusty it. So we need to get him out of here because we need to jolt.
As you're saying that to your team, the Bing is looking at Aldris, and then at Meek, and then back to Aldris. And he says, "You are the only one fit to survive amongst your people. Are you not happy to be reunited with their essence?"
Right as you say that, like as you finish the sentence, I'm gonna tell Gigi and Nara, I'm gonna try to distract it. Both of you need to try to like do something to pull him back. I'm gonna chuck like two of my bombs on either side to like kind of. It's not to hurt it, but it's to like distract it to see if I can get like a set of charge, like my tiny little bombs. I'm gonna see if I can do it before he can just like disassemble it.
Before we do that, I'm gonna call for Meek.
He is focused on the Weaver in front of him.
Meek, do you want Aldris to die?
It almost seems like he can't respond.
All right, I'm gonna chuck my bombs.
All right, Mr. Ryder, we'll shoot. What kind of bombs are these, by the way?
Two like flash bombs.
As you throw both of them towards this gray, he very casually, just two fingers extended outward, almost catches them in these two invisible fields, and they just kind of pop within this see-through bubble, and you see all the flash is just contained to whatever this is, and instantly, Ryder, it appears in front of you, and looking down at you, this just massive figure doesn't touch you.
The aliens in front of me?
Instantly, yes. And he looks down at you and says, "Do not interfere, worm."
Worm? Do you know who I am?
I scream Aldris's name at the top of my lungs.
Before you can say, "Do you know who I am?" you hear yourself say that, but he puts like a bubble around your head, and you guys all just hear Ryder get cut off. And then as you scream, Gigi hears the same thing to you. But he doesn't look at you. He just turns his hand behind you, and you can just feel this like air bubble around your head now.
Did any sound get out?
Oh no, yeah, this got out probably like the first half of the word, but the rest of it just echoes within your head and it kind of hurts your ears a bit.
I'm gonna pop the bubble in my head.
You go to pop it and your hand just like phases through it. It's just like almost this wind sphere, just like it doesn't make any noise, but you can tell it's not allowing any sound to come out, and you almost feel as if it's also not letting air in.
Can I turn those off?
You can attempt to, but he's not looking at either of me. He just turns back to you just to continue the conversation. If you'd like to try turning those off, as he's moved forward and jolted around a bit, it's definitely snapped you out of whatever was forcing you almost to focus. You can feel. Go ahead and roll your arcane abilities.
This air bubble is just a bubble of air, right? It isn't suffocating or currently suffocating.
The only air you have is the air inside this bubble,
Okay.
so it's going to eventually kill you. Yes.
I'm gonna look at Gigi, and I'm gonna motion to her that she needs to use something sticky, or not sticky, but like use the special gun that she has that's like on her mech. Shoot something distracting that won't get disabled instantly with hand motions.
While you're trying to kind of like motion gun with your hand, both Ryder and Gigi, you instantly realize, oh shit, this is all the air I'm going to have.
With the ancient art of breathing that I've studied, I'm breathing
course.
very slowly.
Of course. Aldris, which one of these two were you focusing that ability on?
Well, I want to re-roll it first.
Sure.
6 instead.
6. Very juicy. Okay, which one were you using it on?
I believe in Ryder to control his breathing. Georgiana's kind of crazy and might just keep breathing like a maniac.
Yes.
All right. It takes you about a moment, Aldris. You have to focus on this. And the creature just keeps talking to you. as you begin to just try to undo what he did, it is incredibly complicated. Your own magic makes sense to you, and this is kind of similar to your magic, but it's almost trying to effectively unweave just a bundle of hay, but you can only do it with like tweezers. So it is taking you definitely some time, but you can 100% do it. And as you see both of them trying to like control their breathing, and you're slowly unraveling this thing, Gigi, you actually hear occasionally these like pops of like psh, psh, of air getting in.
Sweet. I have not yet decided what my mocha latte lollipop is. Oh,
Okay.
Can I get it into my mouth right now?
Yes, interesting enough. You put your hand forward, and your hand phases through this thing easily. He's not bringing any air with it, obviously, it's just the hand. The pressure obviously feels kind of weird in there. It's almost like you're squeezing the flesh of your fingers, just barely. But yeah, you can pop your lollipop right in there.
Very odd. Can I shoot several spikes up into the ceiling to create a avalanche or rock slide or whatever?
You may very well roll for that, sure.
Is that a shoot?
That's a shoot. We're looking for a 3 or higher.
Okay, here we go.
That's not a 3.
Fate point.
You want to re-roll that, boy?
That was a lot of minuses.
That's a lot of minuses, yeah. That was not very nice. Are you re-rolling or +2? Question answered. All right. You meet it, and as you shoot straight up, you're trying to get the ceiling to come down on him?
Yeah. Or in general, I just want him distracted.
You shoot up, and as I mentioned, the ceiling spans to about 100 feet high. So it definitely takes you a couple shots, and he's once again paying you no mind whatsoever.
And it's not directed at anyone, so we shouldn't see it coming right away.
Yeah,
Wait, when she does that, can I just like straight up just shoot at him? Because I feel like if he even senses that shit coming down, he's gonna do something. So if he's distracted by my bullets coming at him, then it's like extra distraction.
sounds like more shooting. Methinks. All right, you fire away at this being. And what kind of gun do you have, by the way?
I'm just shooting at him with my revolver.
What are the bullets made of?
I'm not using my pulse rifle that shoots the laser, so I'm just
Okay.
using normal bullets.
They fire off. While speaking with Aldris, he kind of puts his left hand out very casually, once again, still facing towards Aldris. You see one or two of the eyes kind of look towards you, Ryder, as you're firing off. Before the bullets reach him, they just turn to just mush, just melted metal. They just hit the ground and kind of just slide in like this goo. And as he's looking at you, Aldris says, as you're focusing, you're trying to get this thing off Georgiana. Do they mean something to you? Are they not done? Ready for extraction?
What do you mean by extraction? You want to kill them? Like you did with that other planet?
They were not killed. They were repurposed into life for us. They were a failed experiment. They went nowhere and did nothing. Do you see usefulness in these four?
Do I need to find usefulness in my friends?
You feel confusion. As in, like, why are you answering like this? Almost as if he's expecting... It feels like he's having a conversation with someone else. And then the bullets come from Ryder, and Georgiana shoots her thing. Rocks kind of begin to fall down on him, and before they're able to touch him, they just turn to sand and kind of just wish around him. And they fall. He puts two hands out, one facing towards Ryder, one towards Georgiana, and he asks, how useful are these two? How much do they mean to you?
Can I shine a light in his eyeball?
As Seth answers, sure.
Nara, shine your light in its eyes.
Do you
Light
answer him?
go.
I do it.
Do you answer him,
do
Seth,
it.
or do you just like stare at him?
Is he like holding onto their heads, or does he just put his hands in?
He has his hands out and he's literally about to do something.
I want to like try and push them all out of the cave area.
I want to already be moving towards the exit, so
That makes sense. The two definitely would have been moving. You're actually able to, you just now finished taking the bubble off of Georgiana's head. Ryder, you very much have to kind of focus on breathing slowly.
sweet fresh air. Oh God!
What do you have to shine at this point, Nara, in terms of light?
My headlamp.
Your headlamp, okay? I won't say that really requires a roll, but as it kind of shines towards him and I quickly...
maybe
Yeah.
I have different settings. Maybe I have the super duper high setting meant
Oh,
for
okay.
burning people's eyeballs out.
You want to roll craft for that and like tinker with it?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm down with that.
I do think that if it doesn't work, it's still just a light shining into somebody's eyes. So
Perfectly fine. The light does seem to annoy one of the eyes.
I love to be annoying.
I'm gonna rocket Poots backwards while she does that.
She shines light. Georgiana's running towards the exit. Ryder is jetting towards the exit, I assume? Or
Yeah, I'm just following Gigi.
individually, Georgiana and Ryder, do me a will roll against this attack.
The one thing I don't have. Yay!
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Can we not start the new campaign this weekend?
We're not. Don't worry.
I don't think my luck is going to change in 4 days.
You want to use a fate point on that? You roll literally as worse as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you guys both re-roll to a 1 and a 0?
Yep.
That's acceptable. Okay.
Acceptable.
My God.
Compared to my 8 rolls, please.
It's better than a -2.
I think that's the first time we've actually rolled negative in a long time.
Yes.
We're
It's
usually
not.
rolling skills we're good at.
It's not a great stat.
Hey, I'm not that bad at will. I have a +2.
True.
0.
You just rolled terribly.
You just roll poorly, yeah. Regardless, this first one will be aimed at Georgiana because you roll first, and the second one will be aimed at Ryder. Both of you simultaneously feel something absolutely dreadful. It almost defies description. Like your very essence is being unraveled. Like someone's pulling the veins from your body, twisting your eyes from your skull, skinning your bones. It's just everything all at once, and it hurts. It really, really hurts.
I screech in pain and terror. It's blood curdling, by the by.
Indeed.
Oh, boy.
What? Undo that! Undo that right now! You're not allowed to be that lucky!
8?
That
Well, that was a neutral roll. It's
that's
just
a neutral
+8.
roll.
Why did you give yourself a +8? What the fuck?
All right. Georgiana, that's 8 shifts of damage, and Ryder, that's 4.
Is this physical or mental?
Realistically, it's both mental and physical stress. You can put it in. So remember, when you take damage in each instance, you can only mark your stress track one time, then the rest has to go into a consequence. So,
Okay, so hang on. We
Yeah.
have a severe consequence then. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Not for Ryder. I think Ryder can put it all in physical stress.
yes, you can.
All right, so what would count as a severe consequence for this?
I could say either one of two things, because this is like a mixed attack. Georgiana, either something physically has you shaken, or mentally you have this like just absolutely piercing headache.
Is he actually tearing my body apart?
It very much feels like it, and your brain can't tell the difference.
Well, I think that's mental.
Yeah.
But then what's my severe consequence? A splitting headache is
Isn't
not a severe consequence.
Everything.
When I say splitting headache, I mean you are seeing lights floating in your eyes. You feel like your brain is going to just jump out of your skull.
Spoken as somebody who has clearly never experienced a migraine.
Oh no,
I have never
No.
had a migraine.
What? You've never had a migraine?
No.
Oh my
no,
god!
I
really?
I have
either.
enough for 3 people personally.
Okay, yeah.
So I
yes.
took all of
You
Melanie's
can keep
headaches.
them.
Oh, that's really depressing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no, it's not depressing. I love you. That's good. It's like a migraine. It's like the worst headache you've ever had times 10. It's almost debilitating. That's how bad it is.
All right.
So I have a question,
Yes.
or I guess it's not really a question, but can I just like kind of say the state of everything right now, just so
Mhm.
I'm understanding what's going on?
Yes.
So Gigi has no bubble on her head. I
Correct.
have a bubble on my head. We both
Correct.
try to jump back to leave. We both feel this immense mental, physical, whatever pain. We don't know which it is that hurt the fuck out of us. Nara's standing there like she doesn't know what the heck to do because who knows what to do, honestly, and at this point. Aldris is blank faced, I guess, or whatever. He's drawn in by this alien thing. And nothing we do so far can even touch this thing.
Yes. Aldris did save Georgiana during that time, though.
we need to run.
he did.
Yeah. So he kind of broke from whatever was going on in order to rescue Georgiana.
Okay, I'm just trying to find a way how to like get out of this situation because it sounds like a lose-lose situation.
Well, just leave.
We were trying to, and then we almost died.
I'll continue to try and leave.
Also, to be clear, since time is sort of wonky, The reason he targeted you two is because Ryder shot directly at him and Georgiana also attacked him. So because the two of you attacked him, he just quickly responded with that. Obviously, there's time delay between them because dialogue.
I didn't attack him. I attacked the ceiling. He's taking that personally.
I mean, that's the same thing, honestly.
Yeah. He's being a bit childish.
I only tried to throw a shoe at his head and then crush him under a bunch of rocks.
Also, you did throw a shoe at him, yeah.
It's only murder.
All right, I can't deny that.
the shoe, yes. Alrighty, so past that.
What was his last question?
Basically, he said, what do they mean to you? Are you sure they're worth it? And then he did that effectively to prove how weak they are. And he's sort of looking at them and motioning to you like, Aldris, look, they're useless. And he's more so motioning to Georgiana. And I assume after this, Georgiana, how are you physically reacting?
With a mind-splitting headache, I'm probably curled into a ball sobbing.
This is like you've never felt this before. Like, it's a headache and not just intensified. It almost feels as if it was like placed there in a weird way, or something like screwed with your head and just like turned it on. Because you've had a headache before. They usually ramp up. This just kind of like, hey, guess what? You have a migraine now. It feels wrong.
I'm throwing a smoke grenade in front of me. And I'm
He
bouncing
doesn't-
the fuck out!
Yeah, he doesn't seem to respond to that at all. The light, if anything, Nara, you felt more of an annoyance than anything else. Maybe he's not sure it came from you, or just doesn't care.
That's okay. I love to be annoying. While all of this is going on, I just want to. I feel like I am probably I don't think I turned off my scanning or anything or my goggles, unless Georgiana actively said that she turned them off.
No, I probably
they're
left
still going.
running.
Yeah, they're still going.
So I just want to say that I am taking all of this down, really, to look at later.
So Ryder, you throw your smoke grenade, and are you just jetting towards the exit?
There's nothing for me to do down here. I can't hurt this thing.
Fair
and
enough.
I can't get to Aldris, unfortunately. So I'm just trying to leave.
Okay, I'll ask for something from you in a second. Aldris, how do you respond after you see him do that?
Well, I still want to try and push everyone else out while I respond to him.
Sure, go ahead and roll me that. So Ryder can kind of go on his own, fortunately. Nara, how are you responding?
A strong wind trying to push them out.
Yeah. So I assume you're leaving on your own accord, Nara?
Yeah.
Seeing all this? Okay. I was going to say Gigi needs assistance. She's on the floor. So
Yeah,
she said
so
she screamed and then kind of collapsed.
So I would go back to help her.
What is Liam doing?
He's trying to get Gigi up, but she's kind of like...
He's just awkwardly standing there.
Yeah. Are you lashing out at all, Gigi, from the pain? He's not sure what happened to you. He's trying to get you up and he's talking.
I probably am, unless I can hear his voice, and then I'm probably just sobbing against him.
Pathetic. I help her up.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Migraine times 10. I think my reaction is okay.
Yeah.
As somebody who has migraines, I would definitely not make fun of this situation.
Yeah. They're not fun.
I do help her.
If
I
it's
try.
a migraine time 10, you'd be on the floor, like screaming in pain.
She is. So that's fair.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
She's literally doing that. So both Nara and Liam are trying to assist with getting Gigi up, and Aldris did this burst of wind because the two of them can already move quite easily. This assists them in kind of jetting on out. And then Ryder, go ahead and roll me physique. We're trying to beat a 2.
Oh boy.
You want to use your buff boy stats to beat that?
My what?
Do you want to re-roll that?
Oh, I was like...
Cool, excellent. All right, you're able to hold your breath long enough, Ryder. It does not affect you, fortunately. But you do get the feeling that you are indeed running out of air. Georgiana, Liam, and Nara, you are all kind of whisked out with Aldris's magic, and the creatures, once again, paying them no mind. Just he's looking at you, Aldris. He kind of motioned to Georgiana and gave you a feeling of see, look, she collapsed so easily. Why are you wasting your time on them? It's sort of the feeling you get.
I'm going to call the Kabuto to get as close to the entrance as it can.
Okay. You very much know that happened. It is way too far away for you to hear, but you know for a fact the Kabuto is doing this. All right, so Mr. Aldris, you said after you whisked them away, you were going to respond?
So he said, what are they worth?
Basically, yeah.
They're worth everything. They're a bunch of money-hungry, battle-addicted idiots, but they're family.
Aww. A single tear rolls down Nara's cheek.
As you don't hear anything because you're gone.
Yeah, but she can feel it somehow. She's like, somebody's being emo.
Someone said something nice about me.
I start getting hives.
And I'm gonna grab Meek and I'm gonna fly out as well if I can.
After you say that, he, once again, just sort of the disappointed and just massively confused feeling, again, he doesn't comprehend a single word you just said, and he's massively disappointed in that you answered that way. Just complete, almost disgust even. And as you kind of scoop up Meek, he sort of breaks out of whatever stupor he was in, kind of like, as you pick him up. And upon lifting him, you feel just this wave just emanate from Meek, just sadness, happiness. It's every emotion imaginable and then some. A spectrum of feeling you could presume never felt before. We do know other alien species, of course, can see and hear and speak in different ways that humans cannot comprehend, but you are not human, Aldris. So this feeling is unique to you. It is special. You don't know if Meek is sharing it with you on purpose or an accident. You have no idea, but you two sync. This freeform chaos emanating from the Weaver in front of you almost bounces off whatever the hell you two are experiencing right now. You can very much hear and feel him still, but you are not on the same wavelength. And the two of you just rocket out of here, basically?
I mean, basically, I want to give him the middle finger and say, screw you and screw your initiative. I'm out of here.
Once again, just disappointment. The eyes gaze upon you, Aldris and Meek, once again paying no attention to your compatriots. He doesn't lash out. He doesn't attack. But you can just hear this cacophony of voices, just confusion, just, he can't. He doesn't mean that. No, he'll follow through. Yes, of course. Yes, he will definitely do that. Yes, of course he will. And he's doing it now, right? No, he's not. He's lying to you. And just all these voices, all at once, just overlapping, and all these emotions, and the further and further you get away, they fade and they fade and they fade. And it is almost like something broke in him, and this wrongness just dissipates as you're all able to kind of jet up. Georgiana, you're able to reconstitute yourself enough that you don't permanently need help moving around. Your head is still splitting, but for that moment, you almost felt like you just blipped out of existence. It was that bad. Pain beyond just anything.
Wait, so is the pain lesser now?
It's lesser, but it's enough that you can still move around. You are professionals, after all.
All right.
You don't need help standing. I'll put it that way.
I saw a bubble around my head.
Very much so, yes. To be clear, Georgiana. That feeling, the splitting headache, was instant and intense, but it is indeed just damage, like, for now, and then it slowly dials itself down. You can still feel it, and it's still awful, but it's dialed down enough that you can control yourself now. It took maybe like a minute, though.
I'm still gonna cling to Liam.
He's holding you tight. He's very panicked. He's worried. He has no idea what's wrong with you because you can't say anything. He sees Ryder's fine, so he's like, what the hell? He did something to both of you, but only it really affected Georgiana, so you can tell he's panicking, but he's trying his absolute hardest to, get you guys out of here, along with Aldris's, like, whoosh. And with that, as you guys are...
He's a keeper.
As you guys are jetting, Aldris, you guys can hear the wind and the force of Aldris kind of whoosh, with Meek as he catches up to you guys.
How close is the Kabuto to me?
If you guys are boosting upward, it is going to take you legitimately probably 5 minutes of flight to get out of this cave, but you do not think you're being followed. You guys are pretty deep in here.
Let me know when I get to the Kabuto, because I'm trying to do something on there.
Okay. As you are flying up further and further, Aldris, are you assisting the captain with his little helmet problem?
Yes.
Okay.
It's the helmet problem.
The helmet problem.
Nice way to put it.
Go ahead and roll me some lore. In the panic to get out, this whirlwind, effectively, that's around Ryder is not going away. As you try to focus to unravel it,
Nice.
it's not wanting to go. It is like stuck to his head. And as you guys are getting out, Ryder, I can ask you to do another physique check. You need to beat A3.
Reroll to get the same result. Let's go.
All right, you tied it. Excellent.
This boy be picking the stats that we suck at today.
You're getting up. You're getting up. And as you guys go further and further up, Ryder begins to slow against his will as he is very much running out of air.
I'll try to pull him with me while I'm trying to get rid of it.
Okay.
Again.
All right, excellent. I'll ask Ryder one last time to make a physique roll. You beat a 4 this time.
What?
You're running out of air, dude. Going up.
Oh no.
Oh
All right.
no.
Just take 2 shifts of damage. Physical.
Good thing I'm holding on to him.
You black out for half a moment, but fortunately, Aldous is holding on to you, Ryder. That would have been very dangerous if you were jetting upward in a completely pitch black cave and kind of just stopped going up. That'd be awful. Fortunately, Al, you do black out for only a moment. Aldous is holding you tightly, and he's able to unravel this whirlwind, this bubble on your head, and you're seemingly safe. You're free. The air down here is
the bubble disappears from my head, and I'm just like, fuck!
You finally get fresh air. It's a little dingy down here, but it's better than breathing your own air. It's cool initially. And as you guys
look at him while I'm in his bird boy arms and be like, "You're lucky I studied the art of breathing."
You guys ascend and ascend and ascend, and eventually you are at the mouth of the cave with lots of confused folk because you guys are absolutely panicking out of here. They leave you to all the room that you need, and the Kabuto is just there waiting, and they're all looking at like, what's going on? We trust you guys, but what?
I bet the ship is probably on high alert with guns out, right?
Oh yeah. There's lights like searching around. There's guns out.
Man.
The dock is open. It's ready for you guys to jump in and then like hop into your mechs and go to combat mode. Once again, the people here trust you, so they're like, is this war? What are we doing?
I'll just tell them to not go deeper into the cave than they have before, and then I want to go to help Georgiana, like bring her to a medic bay or something in the Kabuto.
Are we all on the Kabuto now?
If you choose to be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I instantly start uploading stuff to my private files.
Aldous and
be
Liam are
added to
gonna
my
bring Gigi to
database.
a medic bay, and I'm just gonna get in the captain's seat and kind of direct course to the second location.
The Kabuto whips itself around and begins to head towards Rod. Fortunately, some of you aren't hurt too badly, but one of you is indeed in quite a bit of pain. As Liam and I'll just sort of get you to the medic chamber.
While it's autopiloting going to Rod, I'm gonna bust into the medic chamber where Aldris, Gigi, and Liam are. Aldris!
What?
What in Sam Hale was that thing? I do not like creatures that I cannot hurt because that is no bueno. That makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing. And everything that me and Gigi threw at it was just like, nope.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, but right now that's not the main issue. Gigi's kind of in a lot of pain.
Yeah, we can worry about that later.
I'm gonna
What?
punch in on the Kabuto to start the healing for Gigi.
Alrighty, during this time, the healing unit has been attempting to help Gigi, as is Liam and Aldris. You guys are doing your absolute best. But I won't ask a roll from you because the information coming back from the Kabuto is negative, saying initially that Georgiana isn't damaged at all. She has sustained no injuries. I mean, she got bumped against the wall, but that's about it.
So it's all mental?
It's definitely there. And the Kabuto, if you have a splitting headache, like normally this has happened in the past because you guys do go out partying and drinking quite frequently. Sometimes we overindulge. It's fine. Sometimes we forget our pre-game medicine and post-game medicine. It's fine. That the Kabuto is here to maybe sneak it into your water. And if you choose to drink water, sometimes you just wake up and, more alcohol will just make the alcohol go away, right? That's how that works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
2 positives make me feel good. Yay. It's sensing nothing. Normally you can sense that. So if you're feeling unwell, whether it be like so in that sense, like, heartbeats, brain waves, it's sensing that Georgiana thinks she's in pain. And to be clear, you very much have this consequence. It is 100% actually there. But for some reason, it's unable to give you an answer on how to fix it.
I mean, if magic put it there, can magic make it go away?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I can try to reverse what he did.
Oh, please go ahead. Give it your best.
All right, you need to roll a 6.
Oh my god.
Yes, exactly.
Easy.
Easy game. Okay. It is currently in recovery mode. I will say, Mr. Aldris, looking into Georgiana's head as she lays back and relaxes.
Oh, just you're the best.
As you kind of focus on her, you've helped with some wounds before, a lot of superficial cuts, things like that, nothing too crazy. And you can kind of soothe their headaches normally. Initially, before you touch this, you kind of know that there's no way I can fix this. How bad she looked, there's no way. If it's a regular headache, this would be incredibly difficult. Just magic probably can't fix it. But you see something upon closer inspection. As you focus on her head, there's almost like these tiny, they're not actually there. but in your mind's eye, you can see them. And as Meek gets closer to you and sort of nuzzles against your leg, you can feel his worry for Georgiana. And as he does get closer, and you focus, you can like see these tiny needles of light that are like wriggling out of her head. And they're like covering her forehead. They're like, some are pierced in her eyes. They're everywhere. And I don't know if this makes you panic initially, because it does look like her face is just covered in needles, but she doesn't see them, and they're not physically there. And upon realizing they're there and knowing what they are, you can remove them, probably. And you feel like this would assist Georgiana. And with how high you rolled, I will let you do what you will do, Mr. Aldrich.
I just slowly, I wouldn't actually be physically touching them because they're not really there, but there's like little spectral hands just like ripping out needles that then just disappear half a second later, but everyone can see them as they come out.
Excellent.
That mental image. Thank you.
Awesome. I love it.
Don't you love needles in your face?
After he finishes doing this, Georgiana, you instantly feel better. Still hurts. Still dull ache, but it is so much better.
Aldrich is an angel.
For a moment, the light behind him just kind of like, oh. And with that, you're all headed to the new location. Between scenes, I cleared all your guys' physical and mental stress, so we're good and set there.
If I am mentally sound, I do have a question for Meek.
Okay.
For Meek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I create a program, sort of like the universal translator, to decipher Meek's sounds?
Roll me craft as Georgiana's getting depinned, decushioned.
Wait, let me re-roll since I haven't used any of my fate points.
Sounds good.
Just kidding.
Nice.
I might as well use another one.
Nice. That's how we do. There it
All
is.
right.
Okay. The actual Nara has come into the room. We killed the first two clones.
She tripped a couple of times.
While crafting, she just ate shit. Everyone's like, what is she doing? There's nothing to trip on.
I'm like, don't look at me.
About your eyes. All right, so what does this little translator device look like?
Looks like a collar.
Excellent. I was expecting a collar. Okay.
Hey,
You affix a collar
you
to...
were?
I was, yeah.
So,
look
so
at
that
him.
it goes over his little voice box.
Yeah. Is this meant to translate the meeps specifically?
Meep. Yeah, just the beeps.
While you're working on
this is the demo version.
Yeah.
Well, if it works on Meek, I'll try a better version for
Okay.
everybody.
While you're working on that, to test it, Georgia had a question for me.
So, Meek,
He turns to look at you.
do you know how Ghost was born?
He doesn't really respond. He can just...
So I kind of like imagined him, and he just kind of like came into existence. So you have bird people in you, right? Can you imagine one of them and just like spit it out?
Spit out a person?
A baby bird, just a little bird.
Like a bird like Aldris, or a bird like a bird?
A bird like Aldris. You know, can you make a mini version of him?
Meek looks to Alders, and he makes a few of his cute little, like, noises, but they just come through as just, maybe they're a little deeper, like, but they don't translate into any spoken word. Looking to you, though, Aldris, nobody else feels something pulse from Meek, and it's sort of confusion as to the question that Georgiana asked. Maybe a little bit of sadness that he knows he probably can't do that.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
I'll just look at Georgiana and shake my head.
Damn it. I was hoping we could birth some new bird people into this world. Don't give up, Meek. Keep trying, and I'll pat his head.
He nuzzles into your hand. He definitely seems very happy. Of course, what just happened was a bit much, but he doesn't seem
Just a bit.
He doesn't seem dissuaded. He gives you a little extra attention. Normally, Meek is very much attached to Aldris, but he's nuzzling you a lot, Georgiana, and he's trying to make you feel better because he's aware that you were like attacked.
Aw, I'll hug him.
He cannot hug back, but his ears like bloop.
And then I'll hug my babe.
Ghost hugs back, and Liam is very lonely. He's like, "Why does no one?"
No, my babe is Liam.
I know.
How dare you make him lonely, you monster.
As you're petting Meek and giving Liam a hug, Liam hugs you back and he's like, wow, I'm glad we haven't forgotten about anyone. And just around the corner, there's just like seething eyes as this white fluff ball moves slowly around the corner away from you.
Oh well. I'll apologize to him later.
Probably with food or something of that variety.
Definitely with food.
All right, since we're going to pause here, do you guys have any questions that are immediately in your minds that you wish to ask?
How do I kill the alien?
Any questions you can get an answer to?
How do I kill the alien?
We can work on that one.
I want to take all the information that I got from like the goggles and the scanning and stuff that was going on while Aldous was talking. I want to input it into my database and see if any of it matches any, like, if there's any threads that we can connect to any of the other information that we already have. Does that make sense?
Definitely. So as you're doing that, you sort of realize that while everything was recorded and you got the information you wanted, your like local hard drive space for scanning the device across the room filled up way faster than it should have. The amount of data.
Oh.
Now, I will say this before you go, shit, it's almost like the same information. So imagine the alphabet just thousands of times. But that initial alphabet, if you will, is huge. It's information nested in information, nested in information, nested in information, times not infinity. There's a very clear start and end to whatever the hell this was, but it's
huge.
It's gargantuan, just completely unwieldy to the point where it doesn't mean nothing. This isn't useless. Clearly, all data has a purpose, and it was repeated, so like there's a clear pattern. I'll put it this way. Looking at all the data that filled up your pad, and this is in the far future, we already have, I don't know, past terabyte, we already have like crazy storage now. You could store a data like notepad document on a modern computer, and it could have, I don't know what the number is, but like quintillion, bajillion letters, and it wouldn't fill up a terabyte, multi-terabyte hard drive, obviously. So whatever this is insane.
Do I know how big the files are? Like how much does not fit on my current hard drive?
So I'll put it this way. The hard drive that was on like the datapad that was scanning it, this sequence played out once, twice, and then like the first third again. So it does repeat. This whole sequence did play out 2 times. And the first and second sequence are exactly the same. But like I said, they are gargantuan.
I'm going to have to figure out a code or something.
Yeah, so realistically, you could store just
to break it down and sort it.
Yeah, and you could definitely like get a code to do that, and you can take that first part and store it somewhere locally on the ship, and the ship has more than enough hard drive space for that.
That's what
especially you, Nara, you're good. Yeah.
Then once we break, like that's what I want Nara to be doing. Perfect. After she deals with the Meek thing, like the demo box, the demo voice box, universal translator. But I want her to be focusing on that.
Then we shall go ahead and pause there. Like I mentioned before, you guys have all the time in the world to think about it, but you technically have 4 stunts. Like I mentioned, if you need help coming up with one, we can brainstorm together. Your mild consequence, Nara, I am removing it. Yours, Georgiana.
I was going to ask how long it was going to take for the last person to go away.
So it's gone on this session because it was here last session. Yours, Georgiana, while it is cured, so no one can use it against you, it's going to sit there for a couple sessions.
My migraine?
The migraine's there for a couple sessions, yeah. And then it'll go away. But it is cured, so you don't need to worry about it getting worse, and you don't need to worry about healing it. It is, for all intents and purposes, healed. It's just going to take up that slot for, I forgot how long it's supposed to, but until I feel like it needs to go away. Because I think the official answer is really long, and that feels a bit much. So yeah, you'll know when it's gone, don't worry. Or we can remove it if you maybe have some fun downtime with a certain someone. Ghost. Anyway. He's good for petting. Hint, hint. Anywhoots. We'll go ahead and pause there, and next week we shall go to the living planet of Rod. We'll see you there.